Colin was wrong.
I keep waiting for the Eagles to trade A.J. Brown. Instead, they added another receiver, Dontavian Wicks of Green Bay, who's a big target, has kind of a case of the drops, but he's super talented. I'm not sure what it means for A.J. Brown, but the Packers have a lot of receivers. They went first round last year to get another, and Wicks became expendable. Is this portend of things to come? Perhaps, but another skill guy for Jalen Hurts to maneuver with.
Yeah, it's almost as if the Eagles genuinely understand what they're doing. And they know how to run an organization. Again, when this news first broke, my immediate reaction was simply that this just further strengthens the powerful position that the Philadelphia Eagles currently hold. That position allows them to either keep A.J. Brown if they decide that's the right move, or, when they eventually want to trade him, they can turn around and say, "You have to give us an outstanding offer." And the other team might respond, "Well, he's an unhappy receiver. He's not going to," but the Eagles don't care. At this stage, A.J. Brown is a luxury for them. You need him. You want him because you believe you need him to win a Super Bowl. New England Patriots, for example. So this move just continues to keep the Eagles in a commanding position. And acquiring Wicks is such a brilliant Howie Roseman maneuver because the amount they have to pay him, and the amount they gave up to get him, is literally the perfect definition of low risk and all reward. Low risk, all reward. I mean, Wicks has the genuine potential to be really good for the Eagles, especially in specific situations. I'm not telling you he's going to become some kind of 1,800-yard receiver season after season, week after week, right? But here's the beautiful thing, he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be that guy. So again, the production you could potentially get out of Wicks, not just the baseline production you will get from him, but also the chance for it to be significantly higher, combined with what you gave up to get him and the money you're paying him, something like $12.5 million, it's practically nothing. It's no risk, all reward. Literally. So it's such a perfect move and a perfect fit. And it just keeps reinforcing the Eagles' standing and where they are as a franchise. Sean Mannion is obviously familiar with Wicks as well. That provides some continuity. It's a smart decision from every angle you examine it. Whether you want to keep A.J. Brown or whether you want to trade A.J. Brown, it's just a smart move. It's a smart move that people didn't even realize was available or even possible. And those are typically the best moves, more often than not. That's exactly what the Eagles did with someone like Mekhi Becton, or even Saquon Barkley from a different perspective. Nobody thought there was a real market for Saquon. And I always emphasize this because make no mistake, people were not celebrating when the Eagles went out and got Saquon. They were mostly saying, "Oh my gosh, can you believe how desperate they are?" It wasn't some universally agreed upon great move that everyone praised. That was not the case, obviously. I made the videos. And yet it obviously ended up being enormous. I'm not saying Wicks is Saquon or anything like that. Just that often it's those moves that people don't fully see the vision behind that can end up having the biggest impact. Not always. But certainly sometimes. And again, the Eagles are full of those examples. Colin just had an opinion, and I was almost going to turn it into an Eagles video, but he talked about how Mekhi Becton is bouncing around the league, nobody can make him work, and so on. And yet, he was on the Eagles and won a Super Bowl. The Eagles made him work. You know, the Eagles apparently had the greatest offensive line in the history of the universe, and I'm pretty sure Mekhi Becton was on that team, no? And now he's bouncing around the league, and you've got Mekhi Becton crying, saying the Eagles treated him so well. They treated him like he was drafted there, like family. He's crying, confetti flying everywhere. And you think, oh. I guess the Eagles are a pretty good franchise. Pretty cool, right? They can just take a player. Again, when you talk about a stacked team, nobody was celebrating Mekhi Becton. And you had people actually when Cooper DeJean and Mitchell were drafted saying, "Nah, I don't know how good they'll really be." And Nick had an opinion where he said everyone always says Howie Roseman does such a good job because he selects the players the media likes, so the media then says he's done a great job. That was Nick's take about Cooper DeJean and Mitchell. I remember it. I remember it as a very specific statement he made. It was an interesting statement. Thought-provoking. It was also wrong. But it sounds good. It certainly sounds good. Just like how Saquon Barkley wouldn't mac. EA big impact on the Eagles. And that Sirianni would be fired by Thanksgiving. And Jalen Hurts would become Carson Wentz. None of that happened. So, trades like this, moves like this, I encourage you to look beyond the big splashy moves that are always clearly great, clearly a big swing with potential for a big win. We see those moves plenty. It's very clear to make sense of them, especially because they're discussed so heavily. It's a lot easier to see where they fit. That's very clear. You bring in an A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans, and the Eagles say, that's the guy who's going to be an awesome receiver right now. Very clear. You bring in Mekhi Becton, well, Becton will have to play on this offensive line, and you're like, I guess? I don't know. Even something as simple as keeping a Darius Slay, who was obviously older, past his prime, and you wonder, does his leadership and does he have enough left in the tank? Is this a liability? So it's a lot harder to make the math work. And that's what a move like this is. But at the bare minimum, the floor is high enough for competence to say, you better make us an awesome offer for A.J. Brown, otherwise we're not taking it. We're not desperate. He can't hold us hostage. He can't say he'll sit out or cause problems in the locker room. We can totally just remove him. We're in the position of power. You need him more than we need to move on from him. So give us a great offer, and you've got him. Or we say no. We're keeping him because we want to keep him. We're going to be stacked, awesome, and great, and we are flush with offensive talent. Sorry. Better luck next year. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? What do you think this trade for Dontavian Wicks does for the Eagles? It seems to be confusing Colin more and more. He doesn't know how to make sense of it. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some debates. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you a part of it. I want to build something we all generally feel connected to. Something we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.